I've heard of white Zin and red Zin, but I never heard of just Zin. What is that?
Find out today on Medical History Mysteries.
Welcome to Medical History Mysteries. I'm Pamela Maragliano-Muniz. With me, as always, Tom Viola. Tom, what is going on this week?
It's good to see you again, Pam. All is well. How about you? Doing well, I hope?
Everything's great. You
Awesome.
know, I have to say, I troll the different social media platforms, and I saw some buzz about Zyn, Z-Y-N, and I had to stop and say, I had never heard of that before, but I know somebody who has. What is
Oh,
Zyn?
it's the curse of being me. I get to hear about all these new things that come up and all of these new I don't know, I guess people would say their lifestyle changes. Like some people say their social media platforms in and of themselves. Some people say they're just trends and fads. But Zen looks like it's here to stay. Zen, Z-Y-N, unlike the Z-I-N you and I are talking about. Zen is basically a pouch that contains powdered nicotine. Now, let's be clear, it doesn't have tobacco, right? It has powdered nicotine along with flavors, lots of really cool flavors. And they're sold in tins, which look a lot like chewing tobacco. But don't make any mistake because it's not chewing tobacco. It's not tobacco product at all. Even though it's made by one of the companies, one of the big tobacco manufacturers, it contains no tobacco. It's just nicotine, powdered nicotine in a pouch that you place between, again, your cheek and your gum. And people call that packing. You pack their gum, and it releases the nicotine slowly over time. People love it because of the flavors. They love it because they can get their dose of nicotine without smoking, without vaping. And because it's so discreet, they can continue to use nicotine without the stigma of being identified as a smoker or a vapor, if there is one. But also, you're getting that dose of nicotine discreetly in places where you can't smoke, you can't vape. So that in itself, I think, is the attraction. It's the flavors for sure, but it's also the discrete nature of Zen, where basically you can use it anytime, anywhere. And unlike chewing tobacco, there's no need to spit, right? So, basically you stick it in your mouth, you hold it there and you suck on it and you get your dose of nicotine. So, in a way, I can see how people would like it and be attracted to it. It doesn't hurt, by the way, that there's a lot of TikTok influencers and other social media influencers pushing it. Even some conservative and other and liberal talk show hosts and commentators are promoting Zen. Bottom line is, I think it's here to stay, based on the fact that who makes it and the fact that it's become so ingrained so quickly. As a matter of fact, there's so much demand that there was actually a shortage of Zen for a while, which drove up the demand even more. And so bottom line, I think it's something we have to contend with now. I wouldn't say, okay, our usual concern would be, well, we never want to put tobacco products directly in the mouth. We know what that could lead to ultimately as far as gum disease and periodontal disease. We don't really have any history with just products that contain nicotine in powdered form. So that also leads to this, well, I haven't heard anything bad about it, so, why not use it?
I have so many questions. So it sounds to me like this is maybe a gateway to quitting, maybe, or obviously maybe something that somebody can stash with them and use maybe when they're on an airplane or they're somewhere where they can't actively use a nicotine-based product. But if it's a powder, I'm imagining once it mixes with your saliva, it's going to dissolve. And so I guess you're done with it once the pouch has almost deflated basically and there's just nothing left, no more
Exactly right.
flavor.
Exactly
Okay.
right.
Okay. And so because it's new, we don't really know, and there's certainly not enough research, I'm sure, from a dental perspective, what that's going to do to soft tissues, periodontal status, or anything else. So I think it's important for us as dental professionals to know about it, know what's in it, and know why people are using it. But more research is warranted to understand what the dental and systemic health complications could potentially be by using that. So sounds to
Absolutely.
me like more research is warranted, and maybe we didn't quite solve this medical history mystery.
Well, we'll find out. We'll defer to the future when we find out more about it and we get more experience with it. But as I've said in 1,000 lectures over the course of time, it's always going to be us dental professionals, if I can include myself as one, that sort of lead the way because we see the effects on the oral cavity, and that almost always inevitably leads to effects systemically as well. So we'll be the first to know, just like we were with tobacco and even cannabis.
All right. Well, thank you so much for joining us each week. Stay tuned because
Thank
as
you.
we get more information about this, we are here to share it with you.
See you, everybody.